Welcome to the channel. My name is Matthias. Today we're going to talk about the Agatha All Along Disney Plus series. And I have to say right off the bat that I feel like I was not part of the target audience for the show, and that's just fine. In general, what this series was going for, it was just not for me. The character of Agatha Harkness, I've never cared for. The only time I liked Agatha in a story was in that West Coast Avengers arc where she made Scarlet Witch forget that she had kids in the first place. Again, at least for me, I've never felt that there has been like any incredible Agatha Harkness story arc out there that I felt like they have to make a movie or a series out of that. So I was curious about this series. I watched the whole thing because possibly I would have been surprised if they would have done something super cool. Catherine Hahn does a fantastic job in the role. I do have to say that. But the whole thing with witches and magic, it's just not up my alley. Just in case, spoiler warnings, because we get sort of like the origins of one of Scarlet Witch's kids, Billy. I thought the way they handled how he is actually really alive now, it was well done. Maybe even better than in the comics. But there's just one thing I really don't care about Billy. I don't care about that character. So I guess I'm happy for any diehard Billy fans out there. They must have been super pumped after watching this. So let's get back to Agatha as a main character. Yeah, she does a good role in her own series. The other witches that we got in this series, I didn't care for. Like there was one that for the life of me, I can't remember the name. The last name was Kale. I know she was tied to Man Thing. So I was really hoping that Man Thing would pop up, but that never happens. They name drop Mephisto maybe one or two times, and I was really hoping that Mephisto didn't appear in the series because I felt that it would just ruin the character to have him show up for the first time in a TV series. The main villain to the series, or I guess better said antagonist, would be Death, which was Audrey Plaza. And again, like Catherine Hahn, she acts very well. She does a great job with the character. Now, outside of the fact that thematically the series just wasn't too interesting to me, and when I realized that they weren't going to touch the Darkhold either in this first season at least, and when I discovered that the plot was going to revolve around the Winding Road, and I saw the Winding Road in the series, it felt very, very cheap. There were many moments on the road where you could tell like they're on a set in a studio, that it lacked budget. They repeated one location many times throughout this whole series. Oh, I totally forgot about the Salem 7. They're so non-important to the story that they just didn't register with me at all. And then there was just one thing that happened early on in the series where all the characters break into song, and at least for me, that always takes me out of the story. I understand that they had to do the spell, but everyone sings perfectly. Everything's incredibly equalized in the sound. Spontaneously, someone knows how to do the high note and sing up there, while the other characters do the middle and the low notes. Things like that, when it's not in the context of a musical or very well set up, just ruins things for me. I hate when that happens. It also reminded me of that terrible Star Wars Alkalite series that also was very recent, where we had a group of witches also singing a spell. Like, I have to say, I'm a musician. I've grown up around musicians and singers my whole life. Not once, everyone around me broke out into song and we all started to sing together. That's something that just doesn't happen in normal life. And then we get one episode that is a musical that it's very poorly set up. Again, it just didn't work for me. Now, I do not want to say this offensively by any stretch of the imagination, but the series felt very female oriented, so that's why I felt that I just wasn't in the target audience. It has very strong queer vibes to it, witches are queer, and the concept is queer in nature. But I do have to commend the series. It doesn't feel woke. It's for that audience. Out of all the episodes, maybe half of one episode I thought was really good. And then, like, we have a I think it's the last one where we get the origins of Agatha. That one was really good, very well filmed. That last episode could have been fleshed out and you could have made a movie out of that, and that would have been fantastic. That revolves around the tragic story of Agatha and her son. Great, that was great. But the whole story with Billy, and that we sort of get a situation where Billy did the same thing that his mother, that everything that went down in the series was something, a product of Billy using his powers. And we get the setup that they're going to set out and find his brother Tommy. And obviously, they're setting up the Young Avengers, and I just really don't care. So, outside of that, I have to say, I'm going to give this a stupid score of 8. That's the lowest in my ranking up until this moment. I hope you guys like it. See you guys next time.